Well, great morning, everyone. Let me check real quick here. I want to check my system settings, make sure that the sound is on, because this thing just resets itself. Okay, yeah. Okay. Sound is okay. So, oh my goodness, where to even begin? Trumpenstein is trying to turn this into an absolute dictatorship. It's gotten rid of money for PBS, for stations that aren't putting out his propaganda. He's got the FBI scrubbing everything that has to do with him in the Epstein files, covering up his criminality. And the Repugly Uglies are trying to install somebody else again. In an inappropriate way. So he is doing all he can. He's got the Justice Department out there doing his bidding to sue, act as personal lawyers. And so I'm trying to figure out how to ask this. What? How does he have all these people on this chain to do his bidding? Okay. How does he have such a corrupt administration? Why are all these people flocking to the dark side to protect this predator, to protect this pedophile? Okay? Why did they all abandon America for this criminality? That's all you can say. They're abandoning America for this criminality. So let's just look and see what it has to say. So the reading's about their personal power. Okay? Personal power. It's about their actions. The energy coming into it. Yeah. This is my regard for Republicans or anything, but this is, they're all in this family together. Okay? Bottom line, monetary-wise, etc. This is the concrete happenings. The Pentacles about concrete stuff, grounded stuff. The Wands are about the actions. Swords are about the mental state. Cups are about emotions. And the Pentacles are about day-to-day happenings. Okay? Grounded, your day-to-day happenings. Just thinking about what they are surrounding themselves with, monetary-wise, etc. So it's about personal power and what they can surround themselves with. What's happening today are they're hiding things, okay? They've got things that are hidden. Let's look and see what they are. What are the things they're hiding? Their unhappiness, their misery, okay, their dissatisfaction, emotional dissatisfaction. They're unhappy people. They're miserable people. Okay? They're ones that never see the cup half full. They always see it as empty. These are people that are pessimistic, okay? So they're hiding their pessimism. Nothing's ever good enough. Whatever you give them, it's not enough. They're not happy. They're miserable people. The challenge is the message. The message about daily life, okay? Their message about what's happening on a daily basis. Potential outcome. The message about the happenings, okay? Mental state. Message about the mental state. The knowledge, etc. So the daily happenings and the mental realm, the ideas, etc. So it's about personal power, about what they're surrounding themselves with, the things that they have, the things they gather, the things they collect, okay? This all has to do with the temporal stuff that they have surrounding themselves with. They're emotionally miserable people, and they're putting out the message about what they can get, and again, ideology, etc. Outside influence is about the lies. Okay, another one about the message. The message, the spin, the lies, the message. So the last three things here, when it comes to the challenge, potential outcome, outside influence, is about the lies, the messages, the spin that they're gravitating to. Okay? The challenge is concrete, what they've got in hand. Outside influences, the emotional cup of messages that they're taking in, and they want to change the narrative of what's there, the mental realm, the narrative. So when it comes to their holding on to the personal power, this is again becoming rich, becoming wealthy. Okay? They think by their actions, they're going to gather and collect all these things, a better house, more money. Okay, this is all about the temporal things. They're going to get more. Okay? So when it comes to the energy of it, of just greed is what it is, yeah, it's what's being birthed. It's what they can birth, what they can get from this, the greed. They're driven by greed. With what's hidden is their emotional unhappiness, misery. It's what they've built. It's what they've built. They've built this ideology, misery, they didn't get what they wanted growing up, etc. Okay? So that's the house they live in. What they've built, what they've constructed is just being a miserable people underneath of it all. The challenge when it comes to the grounded message based on their desires. Okay? Their emotional lack. Their emotional lack. And just again, greed. Wanting something, the physical things that I can hang on to. Okay, potential outcome. We have, the narcissist. The message being driven by Trump. Okay, the messages, the ideology, message about the ideology that he's putting out there. And if they continue on that train, they think they're going to gather and collect all of these things in their world. Fame, money, power. It's what it's all about with them. But the outside influence is using lies to overturn things. Okay? They have no problem with a message about lies and overturning things. Sacrificing whatever it needs to be sacrificed to get what they want. Okay? seeing it from a different viewpoint. We can, no problem, we can, just ignore the lies. The ends justify the means, that mentality, okay? The ends justify the means. So when it comes to personal power and gaining more, being rich, being famous, all of that drama, these are the things that they're holding on to, okay? This is what they're trying to gather and collect and hang on to. The things of the drama, okay? I want personal power. I want to be wealthy. I want to have a name, okay? And they're clinging to that with all their might. The energy coming into it is about, though, justice. Now, I think in this case of justice, they think they're due, that this is due to them, okay? They don't care about genuine justice. They justify these actions in their mind that this is something that's due for them, okay? It's owed to them to gather and collect and be wealthy, okay? To birth this, whatever means is possible to get what I want. So when we have what's happening now, the strength, they think it's strengthening them because they're miserable people, okay, with what they've built. So they think that in doing this, this gives them more strength, more power against their misery, okay, and what they can build. The challenge, though, is the stability of home, the stability, and this is the White House, okay? The challenge is the White House, but it's also about home and stability, the actions, okay? So this is about the challenge of the message about wealth and power and based on their desires, okay? They want to have this stability, and they think this is the way to get it. And so what are they doing outside this is the potential outcome. This is the past, covering up the past, the message that they're putting out about Trump. Okay, the message. They're willing to sacrifice everything for wealth and power, and that's what it's about, that they're, owed this. The ends justify the means. If we have to put out the message about the past with Trump, we'll do that so that we can secure our greed, okay? So we can say that when we're miserable, failed people, but now we have the strength of the White House when it comes to this past that we're willing to overlook, that we're willing to hide of this criminal so we can get what we want. The outside influence, though, the lies, overturning of this keeps them mentally restricted, okay? Mentally restricted from anything higher, okay? From anything higher, okay? Charging forward, but eventually they are facing loss, okay? Loss when it comes to the higher spiritual aspect of things. They are mentally restricted, bound by their own greed, okay? Bound by their desires of trying to hang on to personal power and luxury, okay? And they'll think that, again, they're justified in what they're doing. In their own minds, they're going to continue to justify their actions because they think this gives them that they're stronger, then I'll show you how powerful I am. I'll show you. This is maybe they were bullied as children or whatever, but now they think in their misery, if I do this, I've gained strength, and I'm above you all. I've proven you wrong. And so that's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to go forward. I justify whatever I'm doing and jumped on this Trump train. They bought the ticket because they think they're garnering wealth and power. Okay? And they're willing to sacrifice any light. And they will call the dark light and the light dark. Okay? And that's what happens. That mind shift. It's like the mafia. The police are the enemy, okay? And everything the mafia does is good, and anything that's genuine, goodness or rules, regulations, okay, that's the enemy. And that's the mindset they're in now. They've exchanged the light for the dark and the dark for the light. Anything that's real, what does Trump call it? He calls it fake. It's all made up. It's all lies. The truth is all lies. And his lies are the truth. Okay? So let's go ahead and we'll do a clarifying read and see what it says in this subject. The very center of it is about this control of the actions. Control of actions. This is before it comes into actual being. This is the, how do I want to say it? The feminine is the playing field in the transient. This is before the transient, okay? It's about what they're holding on to as action. Controlling the action. It's about tempering, wanting to temper things by the control. But we have here again the mental realm, the nightmares, the mental realm that they're trying to temper with these actions. Okay? Mental realm they're trying to temper with these actions because it's a tower moment. They're falling. Okay? They're falling. They have no feeling of ground. They want to repress this. I don't want to see it. I want it to go away. They're in free fall. Their mental realm, and so they are willing to move in this direction, taking these actions, because they want to temper the free fall that they're in. What they're trying to repress of the nightmare scenario they've gotten themselves into. So it's what's being worked on. They're trying to work on tempering this with these actions. They're in the fight. They're in the fight. The arguments, the drama that they're trying to repress, and the things that have been hidden, the things they're trying to hide, which is what they're building, they're constructing. Okay, constructing with these actions. So we have this leadership. And what is the leadership? It's affecting their world. Their world. They don't like the harvest. Okay, the harvest is coming due, and they're miserable. Okay, their world, they're miserable in it. So when it comes to spirituality, strengthening, the judgment is coming, okay, with what's being offered up. When it comes to the message about the actions of the past, guess what again? That they're trying to get away with, that was based on their desires for personal power. They want to keep all this stuff up in the air so it doesn't actually get seen, and they're moving forward to try to cling to the things that they're getting out of it: money, wealth, power, a name, fame, okay? And when it comes to the lid being off of actual compassion, rapidly going forward is an agreement to construct something new, okay? Put out something new that they say is concrete reality, but there is the burden that they're carrying energetically. They have to carry this now when it comes to the light of the evidence of this dark deeds, of this dark drama. So they've gotten themselves in this to cover this over, but that is going to weigh on them. It's going to weigh on them that they have exchanged the light for the dark in order to personally enrich themselves. And that's what keeps us going. Okay? They, when you give up your integrity and you start going down that road, well, maybe just this little white lie, and then it gets a little darker and a little darker till it becomes absolute black lies. Okay? And you sell your soul for name, fame, power, okay? For the things that you can get in life. But all that goes away when you pass out of this life. All of those things that you wanted to gather in greed and cling to are gone. And then you have to face the consequences of your actions. And then the light prevails. And you can no longer cover over the darkness that you have clung to and the restrictions of light that you put out there to enrich yourselves. So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.